Captain, it is Cale Bresh. Do you copy? Vine, come in. Can anyone read me? I'm attempting to regroup with you, but the same nanoparticulate in the atmosphere that prevents teleportation seems to be interfering with my positioning system. I've become turned around. I will find you. Eventually. Oh no. Well, hello and welcome back once again to Me, Myself, and Die, 5 Parsecs from home. I am, as always, your intrepid GM host and Trevor. And Trevor? Your intrepid host and player, Trevor DeVal. Thanks so much for joining me here today. And if you do enjoy what I do, please do consider hitting like and subscribe if you have not done so already, or perhaps joining us on the YouTube channel memberships or over on Patreon. Last time, the crew of the Furious got their collective behinds kicked badly by Garnak, the ex-member of the Vendetta's crew. It was very bad at the dig site, at the archaeological dig site, and Cale Bresh was the only one to sort of walk away from that because he got lost in the woods, not because, you know, he's an idiot, but because that nanoparticulate matter in the atmosphere which prevents transportation, which we discovered when we rolled up the planet, somehow screwed up his GPS positioning equipment or whatever the case is. He is a precursor, not an android. He is like a space elf, basically. But his gear got screwed up, he got lost, but he came back to see his entire crew gunned down. Luckily, he got them back to the sick bay, and they're going to be okay after a while. There's a few things that I want to talk about before we actually get on with today's session. The first one is somebody in the comments pointed out that when I fled Putnik 2 because of the invasion, the rivals should not have followed. And I think I did a rival check last episode, which I shouldn't have done. So from this point on, there's no rivals because they wouldn't have followed us and we didn't gain any new rivals. The second thing is I'm going to be using some of the rules from the Freelancer's Handbook, which I did a live review on. You can check that out right here. This is the latest supplement for 5 Parsecs. There's a lot of really cool stuff in it, and one of the things I'm going to be doing is using dramatic combat, or at least parts of it. The shooting rules are now either you're in the open or you're in cover. If you're in cover, it's a 6 up. If you're in the open, it's 5 up. It doesn't matter what the range is. That gets compensated a bit by the type of weapons that you're using, because the dramatic combat rules in that supplement have a whole bunch of new changes and alterations to the weapons as well. I'm not going to go into the weeds about it here, but you'll see that in action probably. There's also something called lunge, which basically means if you shoot at somebody who's within 6 inches of you, and if you miss, and if they don't have any missile weapons, or if they have a higher melee skill than you and a melee weapon, they can lunge at you. They can do a full move towards you and immediately initiate a brawl. And as far as I can tell, that could mean like an extra attack if they've already done their action, is how I read that. But anyway, so that'll make things like aliens with just big scary claws a lot more scary. I'm not using the duckback rules yet because I want to do a salvage operation. That's another thing from this supplement that I'm going to use. The salvage operation has its own special rules, so I don't want to introduce too much at once or I'll get completely lost. Let us start our campaign turn 7. There's no invasion to flee. We have to decide whether to travel. I don't think we're going to technically travel. I think that the captain in his state in the medical bay, he does realize that they have to get far more powerful and get better gear if they're going to take on Garnak and the rest of the Vendetta's crew. So he's sort of learned a lesson in humility. I think maybe he raced into that a little too fast. Nonetheless, the crew is behind him so far, so they're not going to travel. However, I do think that they hear rumors of a wreck of a vessel, a Space Hulk kind of thing, off of a local moon in the same system called the Acheron, which is a salvageable ship. So I think they're going to do that just because these are new rules and I want to try them out. So that's probably what's going to happen here. So far, the only crew that actually contribute to upkeep costs is only Cale and Stein, because they're the only ones that are not in medbay, which means that upkeep is actually 0 for this turn. There is ship debt, of course. Of course. Now, we only have 8 credits, so we have to be careful. I think, actually, we only owe 8 on it. I don't actually want to pay down the debt this turn, which means that the debt is going to go up to 9. No ship repairs. Now, medical care. This is interesting. We have 2 med patches, and what med patches do is during the medical part of the turn, which is right now, I can use the med patch to remove 1 turn from the recovery time, and if that reduces the character to 0, they get to act normally in the turn, because normally you wouldn't be able to take an action, you would only be able to take part in the battle. But I've got med patches which do exactly that. Now, luckily, both the captain and Mara are 1 turn in sickbay, so I'm going to use the 2 med patches to speed up their healing so that they immediately come back into the fold. Now we go to assign a resolve crew tasks. There are 4 characters. That is sort of the minimum amount you need. I was considering going to try and hire somebody else, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that now. I'm not gonna find a patron. In fact, the first thing I'm gonna do, and this is probably gonna be the captain who does this, is check for a salvage mission. So I'm going to roll a d6 here and see if there is a salvage mission available, and the answer is 6. Yes, there is, but it is an illegal job, which means there's a chance of getting in trouble with the law. So I think the Acheron, the wreck of the Acheron in orbit around a distant moon, is maybe with some government sector ship that no one knows is wrecked, but the captain gets a secret tip or something like that, and so he decides he's gonna try and take this job anyway. So here's the thing: it is an illegal job. So when you roll for post-game rivals, you roll 1d6, and on a 1 to 4 you got away with it, but on a 5 to 6, the authorities are on your trail. So we'll have to keep that in mind. Oh, repair, definitely repair. Now this is Katria. Katria, can she do this? Each crew member that isn't in sickbay can take on a task. Oh, I think with the other 3, I'm going to trade and explore. So let's talk about Stein. Stein is going to go trading. This is Traxia. There's no teleportation and restricted education, but other than that, he can attend the local markets and see what he can trade for. Boom, he trades for 49 fuel. Oh, okay. Great. We've had this before. Roll 1d6 and you have that many credits worth of fuel, which can be used to offset travel costs. That's another 5 credits. So that gives us 10 credits worth of fuel to offset. That's great. That's very, very useful. Mara is just out of sickbay, but she can act. I think she's going to trade as well. I'm going to leave the exploration to Kale. So Mara trades and she gets 68. Hot tip, gain 1 quest rumor. Okay. And then finally, the exploration Kale is going to do some exploration on Traxia, and he rolls a 44. Someone wants a package delivered. When you travel to a new world, if this crew member is still in the crew, earn 3 credits and roll 1d6. On a 1 to 2, you've acquired a rival and receive 1 story point. Interesting. We determine job offers. We didn't look for a patron, so we don't have to worry about any of that. We're not on a quest, so we roll a d6, and if we get 1, we might have found a quest indeed. No, we did not. Okay, and now we choose our battle. Now, normally we check for rivals, but as we determined, there are no rivals here, in fact. So we select the job. We've already selected the illegal salvage operation on the wreck of the Acheron, which is very cool. Now, the salvage operations have a totally different set of rules. They're very, very random. You don't do things like set up win conditions, and you don't do any of that stuff. They all have their own rules. So we're going to be going through that kind of step by step. It's going to be new, so I'll probably screw something up because that's just how it works. But it's totally random, so there's no way to know. This could be a total cakewalk or it could be a total party kill. There's no way to know until we actually get to the vessel, which now is orbiting the far dark side of the moon, one of the 7 moons of Traxia, the wreck of the Acheron, the secret government ship. What were they doing on that ship? Were they conducting experiments? Were they smuggling illegal arms? Who knows? Who knows? But we will find out as we go to salvage the wreck of the Acheron. Let us go to the table. So here we are at the table. This is the wreck of the Acheron, or at least 1 level. In any event, I've sort of randomly put some stuff out here to make it look all cool. Basically, there's going to be entrances from all areas of the ship. There's going to be airlocks on this side, this side, and maybe like an escape pod up here at the bridge. I have no idea what's here. No idea at all. We don't use deployment conditions or notable sites. We don't roll for a mission objective. But the first thing we do is we place salvage markers, 1d3 plus 1. First of all, I'm going to roll for how many there's going to be. There's going to be 2 plus 1, so there's going to be 3 salvage markers. We put these markers around the table spread as evenly as possible. Let's put 1 there, and let's put 1 there, and let's put 1 there. Any crew just moving onto the salvage marker automatically collects it. Now we have points of interest markers, and I'm gonna use white markers for these, white beads for these. Place 1 point of interest marker close to the center of each battlefield quarter. So you have to investigate all 4 points of interest that the ship's scanners have detected in order to accomplish the mission or finish the mission. The center of each battlefield quarter. Well, I'm just going to adjust this here. I'm actually going to put that there. I'm going to put the point of interest here. Battlefield quarter. Seems to me like this. Seems to me like this. It seems to me like this. Deployment. Randomly select a battlefield edge. So let's do that. Which side of the ship do our crew enter the ship from? Use their breaching tubes or get in the airlocks, whatever. Starting over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we roll a 2. Oh, look at that, right here, right where we kind of want to be anyway. So now you have to split your group up into two groups that are as equal sides as possible. So there's 4, so there's going to be 2 and 2. The captain's going to go with Kale. Mara and Stein are going to go together, I think. They have to be within 2 inches of the battlefield edge, and they have to be at least 10 inches between the 2 groups. Well, that's a little more difficult to do, but we will try and do our best on this map as they enter the airlock here. You now ready to start playing? Woohoo! So, this is weird. There's no roll to seize the initiative. We just do exploration rounds until something happens, okay? So, you must reveal all 4 points of interest, dealing with any problems you encounter en route. So first of all, we have the tension track. Ooh, my little card here, the tension track. This is very unpleasant. This is like, going through the ship on Aliens. You're not sure if there's going to be blips on your motion detectors or whatever. So this represents that. Okay. So as you play, you will track the level of tension. At the end of the first round, tension will be set to equal the half the crew size, so that's going to be 2. The crew may move in order or in any order. They cannot dash or use equipment during exploration rounds. Their goal is to explore all 4 areas. That is their goal. And they've got their scanners out and that's the other thing. This is a very small map. So the suggestion is if you're in a small map, you should cut all movement distances by 1 inch. So I'm gonna try and remember that. It just sort of simulates they're in their sort of void suits, their space suits, so they have to go a little slower. Maybe they're give a second for their grav boots to attach to the metal planking of the deck of the ship kind of thing. Anyway, so they're gonna have to move 1 inch less. Okay, points of interest are investigated automatically when a character comes within 3 inches and line of sight of the marker. I'm gonna cut all distances by 1 inch, or try and remember to do that, because again, it's very, very small. So 2 inches, you have to be within 2 inches. Let us start with the captain over here. His movement is normally, his speed is normally 5, but now it's 4, because minus 1 inch. He's gonna move the 2 into here, and then look at this. He's going to move the 2 onto the marker, which means he automatically collects that piece of salvage. So we take that salvage. That is now ours. We put that aside. Now, we are within sight of a point of interest. Comes within 2 inches. Oh, not quite, because again, minus 1 inch because of the size of the table. So he does not yet reveal what that point of interest is, but he is done. So now I'm going to move to anybody else I want, and I'm just going to bring Kale up into this. Kale's speed is normally 5, but it's going to be 4 because it's slow as they make their way through this dead ship of the Acheron. He will go 2 inches to here, and then he will go another 2 inches to here, right behind this unit here. And that'll put him within 2 inches of that point of interest. So it automatically gets resolved or revealed. So now I roll 1d100 on the table. Here we go. 43. Hot find. You find some good salvage, but someone clearly came through here already. You receive 1d3 salvage units. That's fantastic. We receive 1 salvage unit, but the tension adjustment increases by 1 per salvage unit just found. So our tension track will move to 3 at the end of this first round, okay? All right, over here we have Mera and Stein. Now, they can't go this way because this is just the void of space, so they don't want to go out there. They have to go through the ship. Now, they're slowly going on. Beep, 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 with their stuff. We're going to send Stein first. Stein's speed is normally 5, so here it is 4. Well, he's not within sight of anything like that, so he's just going to do a straight-up move to there. Mera is going to follow up. Mera moves at 4, so she only moves 3. She's a little slow in her bulky spacesuit, and that's the end of her, which means we come to the end of the first round. Now, when we get to the end of the first round of the salvage operation, we look at the tension track. Our tension is now at 3, okay? At the beginning of each round, roll a d6. If the roll is above the tension score, raise tension by 1. Let us see what happens. 1, okay. It is equal to or below the tension. Reduce the tension by the number on the d6, so the tension goes back down to 2, and a contact is spawned. Blip, 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 blip. Oh, what is it? Contacts represent a high probability of enemy presence. Something on the scanner. The sound of equipment. Power fluctuations. Something. It could be anything. Ooh, it could be anything at all. Randomly select a crew member. I'm going to get a D4. Randomly select the D4, a crew member. I'm going to go down the list of my thing here. That is going to be Stein. Place a contact marker at the closest point to the selected crew member that is not within 6 inches or line of sight of any crew member. Actually, the closest point that's not within line of sight is on the other side of this wall, is what I would judge. Yep. So the contact. Boop, boop. Contact markers are revealed and resolved if, at any point, they are either within 6 inches and line of sight of a crew member or within 3 inches of a crew member. Oh, wait a minute. No. Sorry, I screwed this up. Not within 6 inches or line of sight. So this actually has to be over here. So the contact, right, it has to be at least 6 inches away. Place the marker at the location that would be closest to a point of interest. So it's actually going to be here. It's going to be in this room by that point of interest right in the corner there. At any point, if the contact marker is within 6 inches and line of sight of a crew member or within 3 inches of crew member at all, then something happens, okay? So now, oh yeah, that's cool. So these contact markers will actually move. Let us go to round 2 of exploration phase. Okay, so the captain has no idea that there's this contact over here. He is going to move his 4 inches. He's going to move his 4 inches this way. We'll put him right there. Kale also moves his 4 inches. He's going to fall in line beside the captain there. That's the end of them. Stein knows that there's a contact over here by this point of interest. It should have been 5 inches. Sorry, I just realized it should have been 5 inches because I'm cutting the distance by 1 inch. So it's 1 inch. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, he's moving his 4 inches here, which puts him there. Mara's moving her 3, which puts her there. And now we go to the end of the round. There's no contacts. Contact markers that were already on the table at the start of the round will move during this phase. This happens after all enemy forces have acted. There are no enemy forces. To move a contact marker, roll 2d6 in separate colors. The darker one, the black one, will represent aggression. The light one represents chance. Here we go. What does this mean? 3 and 2. The aggression is 3. If this roll is highest, which it is, the marker moves this many inches towards the nearest crew member. And if the lighter one had been higher, then it would move that many inches in a random direction. If they're the same, the marker stays in place. That's cool. Okay, so the contact marker moves 3 inches towards the nearest crew figure. The nearest crew figure is Mara. So the contact marker on their devices are, and Mara kind of looks and she says to Stein over comms, I've got some movement over here on the other side of this wall, I think. That was the end of that round. Okay, so at the start of this round, we do a tension roll. And the tension roll is 5, which is above the tension score, so we increase it to 3. And the captain and Kale moving cautiously through the ship, through the hulk. 4 inches is going to put him right there. Kale is going to come right on the other side of this. Now here he can see that there is a closed door, so that's going to require an action to open up, to just kind of like, hit the control panel and if he so chooses to do that. But at the moment, that's not what they're going to do. Stein knows that there's a contact over here. So he, ooh, how exciting. He wants to move his 4 over here to look at this point of interest and maybe also hook up with the rest of the crew at some point. He's not in line of sight of anything. Mara now moves her 3. Boy, she is falling behind. I think over comms that she says, Stein, hold up, don't get too far ahead. So that was their movement. Now we go to the contacts. There's no hostiles. We roll 2d6 again, aggression and chance. And what do we get? We get, chance this time is highest. So the marker moves this many inches in a random direction. 3 inches this way, back towards me. Contacts will move around terrain as required. They will halt to move if they would cross a battlefield edge. It would go this way, but it can't really, so it's just gonna kind of go towards that wall and basically stay there. That was the end of the round. Now we go back to the start of the round, the beginning of each round. Again, we roll the tension dice and we get 6, which is over. So we reduce the tension to 0, but we spawn a contact, randomly select a crew member. They're getting kind of clustered up in the middle here. Randomly select a crew member. It's going to be the captain this time. Place a contact marker at the closest point to the captain that is not within 6 inches or line of sight of any crew member. It's going to be closest to the point of interest. So not within line of sight means it's going to be here, because there's no line of sight to Kale. Yeah, he can't see past that anyway. That was the tension track, so they get movement. Beep, 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 beep. The captain says to Kale, we gotta be careful, I got something up here. Alrighty, Roo, the captain. He can move his 4, can't he? Can't see, yes he can. He does 1, and he does 2, and look at this! That puts him in line of sight of both the objective, although the objective, you have to be within 2 inches of a point, 5 inches. I keep forgetting to lower the inches by 1. Okay, contact markers are revealed and resolved if at any point they're either within 6 inches, within 5 inches, and line of sight of a crew member, they definitely are there, or within 3 inches of a crew member. Well, in this case, the first one, the line of sight holds. Do we have line of sight? Yeah, right through the door. So, our first contact is revealed as the captain comes around, and through that open doorway, what does he see? We roll a d6. We roll a 4. Hostiles! You have encountered hostile forces. Proceed to the hostile section below. If you encounter hostiles for the first time, you roll D100 to see what type of enemy you'll be fighting in this mission. Whoever the enemies, they will not be accompanied by any unique individuals. Tell us about hostiles. Book 56. A rival team. Another team has taken an interest in your site. Determine a random opponent type from the interested party tables. The enemies will fight normally, but reduce their panic range by 1. Who are the interested parties? 77. Colonial militia. Armed militia of a colony is its first line of defense and often doubles as law enforcement. The distinction between organized militia, armed criminal gang, and gun-toting lunatics can be deceptively difficult to tell. Maybe this was a ship that was sent to a secret colony that was being made on one of these moons, and something happened to the ship, and so the colonial militia, the armed thugs basically from the colony that's secretly on the moon, came up here in a shuttle and they're looking for something, and they boom run into our crew. That's kind of cool. They have the home field advantage. They always count as being in cover if they are on their third of the table and not within 12 inches of the shooter. Okay, so this is a little weird here because again, this has got its own set of rules. Okay, yeah, so the number of enemies is a special thing here. It's based on the salvage rules. So there's just 2 basic enemies. They're going to be armed with military rifles. Enemies should be placed in positions of cover if possible, or within 1 inch of the market. On or within 1 inch of the marker. Well, the marker was there, so I think this guy's going to be back here, and I think this guy's going to be here, so at least one of them has cover. Newly placed enemies cannot act during the round in which they are placed. So the captain reveals this, he moves into the contact marker, he sees the thing, he sees colonial militia. Oh no! So we know that is who is on board this station. Anytime we encounter hostiles, as far as I know, we're going to encounter colonial militia, as opposed to a bunch of different things. I don't think it's like an old TSR era dungeon crawl where you have a bunch of different creatures in different rooms. I think it's all colonial militia. This is the first round in which, so the enemies cannot act. I guess my question is, do we finish the exploration rounds before we go? If any contacts or enemies are present, you will play a normal battle round. So I think as soon as the contact is revealed, we go immediately to a battle round. which makes sense, I think. Again, I've never played this before. This is the first time I played this particular version, so I got some questions. Now we're going to go into regular battle round, which means we do the initiative. There are, in fact, 4 of them. However, the captain has a communicator, which means I roll 5 and I discard, not re-roll, I discard one of the dice. I'm just going to discard the 6. So 2, 2, 2, that's pretty good. That means the captain and Stein and Mara and so Kale. Kale's the only one going to be going on the slow round. Everybody else is going on the fast round. This is good. Let's start over here. The captain sees the colonial militia. If this was like a role-playing game, he might want to talk to them. But this is a tactical miniatures adventure game, so he opens up. Okay, this guy has no cover from him. He's within 4 inches, but it doesn't matter with the new rules. It's just he's not in cover, so it's 5 up. So the captain, combat +2, 1 shot with the military rifle, +2. He's looking for 5 up. Okay, so he will miss. Presumably the weapons that they've loaded their guns with aren't like Full Metal Jacket. They're not going to go through the walls and cause a hull breach. Over here, Stein, well, obviously these two get the communication that we've got enemies, we've got contact. So Stein, he's going to move 1 inch and he's going to spend his action to open the door. Mara is going to move her 3 right on the other side of this door. Does she have a shot at this guy through that door? I think she does. She has a combat bonus of +1, so she moves with her heavy hunting rifle. In cover, she needs 6 up +1, but she's -1, so it's just a 6 up that she needs. She misses. And that was everybody. Now the enemies go, and the contact marker over here will also move on the enemy action phase once the hostiles go. So these guys are cautious. Cautious enemies will attempt to stay in cover whenever possible. Figures with an opponent in sight and range will remain where they are and take aim shots. Otherwise, they will advance in or behind terrain features, trying to establish line of sight to opposing figures. They will attempt to engage targets as close to maximum range as possible and will not advance voluntarily within 12 inches of opposition, and as generally they will not enter brawling. So I think what that means is this guy's already in cover. I think this guy is going to move. They move 4, which is actually 3, but he's going to dash behind this open area here, seeking cover, and then he's going to fire at the captain through cover with a military rifle and just misses. This guy stays in cover. He has a line of sight on the captain. He stays in cover, so he aims and fires. Oh, aims. He rerolls 1 and fire. Okay, fires. He misses as well. Okay, that was the enemy phase. And now we look at the contact marker because they move when the hostiles have acted. So once again, we roll our 2d6 to see what happens here. Aggression, 5 inches towards the nearest crew member, using terrain as possible. Oh my goodness. Well, 5 inches will put the contact within 3 inches of Mara, which will immediately reveal it. What is the contact? We've got movement all over the place. The scanner is going haywire. Remove the contact marker, then spawn 2 new contact markers near the crew member that triggered this result as per the normal placement rules. Okay, so this contact is kind of a ghost because there's something else going on here. There's 2 coming up. Can't be in line of sight, has to be within 5 inches. That's line of sight there. Actually, no, I think here. That's technically not in line of sight. The other one is in 5 inches. Closest not in line of sight is going to be here. Closest to the... Yeah, they both appear closest to the point of interest. Okay, so that's what happened on the enemy or the enemy actions phase scanner check, which brings us to the end of... No, slow round. We're in a normal combat phase. This is Kale. Actually, he's going to move his 3 inches up to here. Does he have a shot? Yeah, he does have a shot at this guy, but it's in cover. Because Kale has a pistol, a handgun, it now has the pistol trait. And the pistol trait in the new dramatic combat rules means that you're +1 to hit within 6 inches. He's going to combat a +1, but he rolls with an additional +1. So he's rolling a +2 against the guy in cover, and he rolls 3 + 2 is 5. That is a miss with the handgun. Okay, that is the end of the round. Now we go into a normal combat round again. So this is initiative. There are still 4 of us, so I roll 5 dice. Discard one you want. I'll discard the 6. Only one of them is a 2, so that's going to be, someone in combat here. I'm going to call that the captain. Otherwise, everybody else is on the slow action. The captain goes first. I think he's going to aim and shoot at that guy there. +2. Cover. That is a hit. Wow! With his military rifle, 0 damage, but against their toughness of 3, that takes him out. Captain gets +1 XP for the first kill. I think that's the first time anybody but Katria almost has done that. That was the captain on the fast round. Now it is the enemy's phase. So the enemy phase, he's going to take a shot. He has a shot at Kale. He's going to take it, and he's going to get a oh no! With the military rifle, pow, 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 pow. He's going to hit Kale with that. Kale's toughness is only 3, and he will take Kale out. Oh, Kale is shot and taken out. That was the end of the enemy's turn because he had aimed and fired. He was remaining in cover, cautious that he is. Now we deal with the contact markers. The first one, let's deal with this one over here. This is going to be chance. So 5 inches in a random direction. This way towards me. Okay. Contact marker goes 5 inches, basically to the edge of the ship right there. And the other one over here, they are equal, which means the marker remains in place. Now we go, that's the end of the round. We go to the beginning of the next round. Oh yeah, we don't advance the tension track in the middle of a fight, I don't think. Well, it doesn't actually say that. At the beginning of each round, I think we are. I've totally lost track of our rounds, but I think we got to do it. So I'm gonna roll on the tension track again. Our tension's at 0 now, which means that it goes up by 1. So it's at 1. Yeah, there was the enemy's turn, and so now it's a slow phase. Kale's taken out, but these guys can move. Stein, Mara still has she doesn't have a shot. She didn't shoot at that guy. I don't think she did. Oh yeah, she did. So she could fire again, but this time she can aim. So she can re-roll 1s, and she rolls at +1. Try to look for a 6. That's a miss. And Stein can move his 4. He can move his 4. Well, he can't really get a shot if he goes there. He's going to come up and sort of straddle the fallen body of Kale. Kale, get up, man, get up. He is also at 6, but here's the thing. Stein has this little kooky gun called a hand laser with the new rules, it's a pistol, so he gets +1 to hit within 6 inches, and it has a shock attachment, which means it does an impact damage to people within 8 inches. There's a bit of a discrepancy between the impact trait and the new dramatic rules, but I'm not going to make a big deal with it because it's just a total edge case. But suffice to say that this is a good thing for Stein to use as he moves up and fires. It's snapshot as well. That is cumulative with pistol, so he's rolling a +2, and his combat, so he's rolling a +3, and he rolls, oh yes, he hits this guy. Now it's a hand laser, damage 0 against toughness 3, takes him out. That was the slow round, so we go to the beginning of the next round, and we roll the tension track. 2, it is above the tension, so the tension goes to 2. We're back in exploration round now. We can move in any order we wish. The captain is going to very callously leave the body of Kale behind, but you know, they'll take him out on the shuttle or something when they leave. He is going to move his 3 inches up to the salvage marker and take that. And then that puts him within 3 inches of the point of interest, which means it gets seen and resolved. What is the point of interest this time? 54. A hornet's nest. The scanner is suddenly beeping like crazy. Place a contact marker near the revealing crew member. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Reduce the tension though by 2. So the tension goes down to 2. But we have a new contact marker within 6 inches, not line of sight, closest to this. Well, that's gone now. So closest to the new point of interest. Can't be within line of sight, so it can't be there. Can't be, I guess it's gotta be here. To be right there. The scanner is going crazy. Bleep, beep, bleep, beep, bleep, beep. Right there. So that was the captain revealing the point of interest. Bleep, 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 bleep. We got movement! We got movement! Okay, exploration over here. Stein is going to do 1 inch to here, and then he's going to go, oh boy, he's going to go over here, 3 inches. Now here's the question. When he moves his 3 inches to here, Is he in line of sight of that contact marker? Would this thing see him? No. No, I don't think so. I don't think it would. Mara is going to go her 3 inches, and she's going to go 2. Does that put her in line of sight? No, not quite. And she's gonna go this way for her last one. She does not want to be in line of sight of the contact marker. Okay, that's the end of the round. So now the contact markers all move. Let's start with the one up here by the captain. It does not move. The one down here. 2 aggressive, moves 2 inches towards the nearest crew member, which is going to be Mara technically, so it winds up there. And we have line of sight, however, it's not within 6 inches. So then this one over here, it's random, 4 inches in a random direction, which is towards Mara. So it's gonna go this way 2 inches, and it's gonna go a 1/3 inch this way, and a 1/4 inch this way, which puts it, boom, within sight, within 6 inches of Mara, which means the contact is resolved. The contact is 5 hostiles. Okay, that is the second hostile, which means 2 basic enemies and 1 specialist. I've already determined that the specialist has a rattle gun. 3 colonial militia. So we go to the beginning of the next round. It is a combat round, but we do the tension roll. It's going to be above 0, so it goes to 1. And now we go into a regular combat round. We start with initiative, and we discard when we want, which means everybody goes on the slow round. The enemy goes first. So they want to keep their distance, advance into cover. They move at 4, which is actually 3. So this guy, I think he's going to stay in cover there. This guy moves back into cover here. This guy is going to move 3 to there, kind of hunkering down. This guy isn't moving, but he is aiming with that rattle gun. So this guy's moved. He's got a military rifle. He's going to fire at Mara. She is in the open. Oh, and he's going to hit Mara with the military rifle. Pow, 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 pow. No damage bonus. Mara's toughness is 4/2. So stuns Mara. This guy is also going to fight. Oh no, he can't actually shoot because he's going to shoot through his own buddy. So he is not going to do that. But this rattle gun, yeah, the rattle gun's going to take a shot. 1 to 3, it's Mara. Oh no, he's going after Stein. So he turns and at extreme close range. But he is behind cover. They've got this giant crate between them. So the first shot at Stein, looking for 6s. First one misses because they've got no combat bonus. Second one misses, but he was aimed, so he rerolls 1s, misses with the second shot. Third shot coming in, also misses. The rattle gun just fires a barrage of ammunition into the hallway. Ricochet bullets go everywhere. That was the baddies, basically, on their round. Now we go into slow phase. Well, let's start with the captain over here. He's gonna go 3 inches to there, and a 1/4 to there, up against that wall. And he's gonna, from around the wall, he's gonna pow, 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 pow. He's gonna shoot at this guy right here, who also is in cover from him. He moves, he fires at +2, because his combat is awesome. He's looking for 6s. Nope, the first shot misses, and he only has 1. So he misses, unfortunately. Mara is stunned. She can either shoot or move. She needs to get to cover. So she is going to move for 3 inches 2, and then 3 over here. And that gets rid of her stun, but she can't shoot. Dives for cover around the corner. Stein is in cover, and he's got this great pistol with the pistol quality and the snapshot, so he pulls his hand laser and shoots at this rattle gun guy right here with a +2, and he rolls a +2, which is a 6. That is a hit. The damage of the hand laser is 0 against 3. Takes out the rattle gun. So that is him in the slow phase. Now we go to the morale check. I think I forgot that the previous round. That's okay. So morale check. Roll a number of dice equal to the number of figures that were removed due to combat. Their panic range is 1, so they lost 1. Does anybody leave? No, they don't. Okay. Initiative. 2 2s are good. Gonna get rid of a 5, not that it matters. 2 twos are good. That's going to be, I'm going to say Stein. Is Stein within 6 inches of this guy? He is. So Stein's going to have one of the 2s. And I think Mara's going to have one of the 2s because now that she's moved, she can aim. So let's start with Mara. She has a shot. She's aiming and she rolls +1. That'll be a miss. And Stein, he is definitely within 6 inches of this guy. So he's rolling with a +3 because his attack is +1. And then the +1 for the pistol, +1 for the snapshot. +3 is 6. That is definitely a hit. And the damage is 5. Takes him out. Oh, this colonial militia guys, they go down quick. They go down nice, like a nice, refreshing, crisp beer. All right, we go to the enemy phase now. We've got all these contacts that are still going to do a thing. The enemy is going to take a shot at somebody he can see, and right now that is only Mara. So he aims and fires with a miss. Now we go to contacts. What does this contact do? This contact is going to move in a random direction. 5 this way. Okie dokie. It goes, we'll call that 3, and then 2 this way. It's not within 6 inches, so it does not reveal itself. Not quite yet, not quite yet. And then over here, we've got this contact. This contact is going to be aggressive 5 inches towards the nearest character. It's going to be here. 3 is going to put it there, and 2 is going to put it there, which resolves, boom, at Mara. What is the contact? Is a 3 hostiles. That's the third one. 2 basic enemies and 1 lieutenant. And they're going to appear behind cover if they can. Which they really can't. They're kind of in the open here. They cannot act in the round that they appear. So that was the end of the enemy action. So now it is slow action. So now it is the captain. Well, he can definitely see this guy. I think he spins around here and takes a blast at the lieutenant, who is right there, luckily in the open from the captain. The captain is rolling at +2, and he rolls a 4 + 2. It's a 6. That is a hit. No damage bonus, but it's a 5, which will take him out because the toughness is only 3. Took out the lieutenant. And that brings us to the end of the round. Oh, wait, there's only 3 of them now. So they're rolling 4 dice. I might have screwed that up before. That's all right. Okay, we have a 1 and a 3. So basically, somebody can go a 1. It's got to be Mara. Mara's on the 1. Everyone else is slow round. So on her action, her fast action, she's going to take cover. She might have to dash behind cover. I think she does. She moves and then dashes 2 inches around here. Like vaults over this thing, basically. That brings us to the enemy phase. Let's start over here. So this guy has a shot at, oh, he's got an open shot at Stein. This guy is going to move. Is he still got a shot? He's going to move into cover behind this thing right here. And then he's going to take a shot at the captain if he has it. He's just got a shot at the captain, yeah, but it's definitely behind cover. So let's start with this guy because he moved. He fires at the captain. He's got no combat bonus. He's looking for 6s. He misses. This guy needs a 5 up to hit Stein. He misses. This guy over here has got a shot at the Capitan. I don't think so. Yeah, he doesn't get a shot at the Capitan. He doesn't have a shot at Stein so he has to move and attack. So he's gonna move his 3 inches this way, which puts him right there. And now he's gonna shoot at Stein, who he can see who's behind cover. He didn't aim because he moved. He also misses. This brings us to the slow actions, starting with the captain. The captain sees, well, this guy, I think, definitely, who is behind cover. He's rolling with +2 because of his bonus. That is a hit, and his damage against this guy takes him out. Oh! Stein on slow needs to shoot at this fella right within range. Boy, he's rolling a +3 this time. 3 + 2 is 5. He will miss because of the cover. Okay, that was the end of the slow round. Oh, I forgot before the slow round, the markers have to go. But that's okay. I'm just gonna keep everything as it is, but I'm gonna move the markers now. You're supposed to do it at the end of the enemy phase. My bad. This one, what happens with this one is it goes in a random direction 6 inches this way. This thing's just going all over the place. Basically, it winds up over here. All right, so then the slow phase would have gone and they did their thing, which brings us to the end of the round, the beginning of the new round. We do the tension track. Tension track is 1, so it's 2. And now we do initiatives. I might have forgot the tension track the last round. There's a lot going on. Initiatives, there's still 3 of them. They're still in a fight for their lives over here. I'm going to discard the 4. Not that it matters. Only one of them can take the 2, and I think it's going to be Stein is going to take the 2 this time. Everyone else is going to be the slow round. So on the fast round, Stein is going to shoot again, +3 with his hand laser at this guy. That's a hit. Does he do him? He does him. Takes him down. These colonial militia just, they're not tough at all, which is good. Enemy phase, have to move the tracker at the enemy phase. Oh, right. Morale. I knew I was forgetting something. Morale. They lost one. Nothing done. They just lost him this time, so they have to do another morale check at the end of this thing. But first, this guy moves. He still has a shot of the captain. He rolls a 6. No, he does not. Okay, end of the combat round. We would do the scanner phase. Aggressive direction towards this marker's just going all over the place. It's going back and forth. What the hell is it? It's going to go this way, so it appears here still not within 6 inches, so we can't resolve it. We don't know what it is. Some weird scanner thing. Okay, that was the end of the enemy phase. Now it is slow actions, which is the captain and Mara. I believe Mara has has she got a beautiful shot? She's got a shot of this guy, and I'm gonna call that in the open, because he can't use this for cover from that angle. And so she's going to be rolling at 5s with a +1. 4 + 1 is a 5. Her damage with the hunting rifle. And a hunting rifle in the new rules as well has the crit. A natural 6 on the hit roll will inflict 2 hits. But she didn't get that, but she did hit him. She's rolling damage +1. 4 + 1 takes him out. Takes out the colonial missile. The colonial militia. And that ends the slow round basically because there's no more enemies. We go back now to the beginning of the next turn, but it's an exploration phase. We do attention, okay, 2, okay, that's the equal to below tension. Reduce tension to 0, but we spawn a contact. Random character is 4, that's gonna be Mara. Spawns a contact within 6 inches, but not line of sight, and towards the point of interest. I think it has to be behind that big display right there. Now we do movement. Well, we're gonna start with the captain over here. He's gonna move 1 inch here, and then he's gonna move his 4 to go beside Stein there. I think Stein's gonna go next. He's gonna move his 4. He's gonna move behind this window area and peek through to see, is it within 3? It's not quite within 3 to see the objective. You'd have to get closer, but he is within 6 of the contact, so he reveals the contact in his part of the exploration round. And what is the contact result? 5 hostiles. Proceed to the hostile. All subsequent is going to be 2 basic enemies. They appear behind cover as best as they can, which in this case is not particularly great. They can't activate in this round. Mara, her exploration phase, she's going to turn and take cover behind here so she can see this enemy. Because I think we finished the exploration phase first before we go in, I guess. I'm not exactly sure how that works, to tell you the truth. She's not within 3. She's not within 3 of the point of interest, so we're not sure what that is, but we definitely see the enemies there. So we go into a combat round. Contact markers that were already on the table at the start of this round will move during the enemy actions phase. This happens after the enemy forces have acted. This is the exploration. They show up, but they don't act. I think the contact does actually move in this case. Still feeling my way through these rules again, trying to figure out the order of events, but let's see what the contact phase does. It's going to be a random direction, 4 inches. 4 inches back this way. Wow, it just does not know where it wants to go. Okay, now we go into a regular battle round. There are 3 of them, so we roll 4 dice for initiative. And ooh, look at that! Discard the 6. So 2 of them are gonna go fast. Well, that's gonna be obviously a Stein and Mara. The captain's gonna go in the slow phase. So Stein shoots first as he is within 6 of that fella right there who is in the open. Badly for him. He's rolling a +3. 3 + 2 is 5, which is a hit in the open. He rolls his damage. Oh, he only stuns him. So he stuns this guy. Ugh. Mara sees this fella. He is behind cover. She aims and fires. Oh, okay, a natural 6 with a hunting rifle. It makes the critical thing happen, so she gets 2 damage rolls on him. The first one is 2, +1 is 3. That'll take him out. Ah! Okay, that was the two of them. The enemy phase now. He is stunned, so he move. Oh, wait a minute. Stunned enemies will fire. Stunned enemies will always fire. But it makes sense to me in this case that this guy would move to cover. This makes sense to me. I think that's it. He's the cautious AI. He's going to get to cover if he can, and I think it's going to be here. I think he moves out here, takes up a position beyond this door, and is no longer stunned. But that was his action. Now we go to the marker, the contact marker over here. What's happening? Oh, random, 6 inches in a random direction this way. All right. Well, 2 is here. 4 is here. The contact marker goes all the way over to the entrance airlock area where our guys first came in, which is interesting. That's it for enemy phase and contact phase. The captain now, I think the captain's going to be sneaky. I think he's going to try and come around. He's going to do, he might even dash. He's going to do his 4 to there. And then I think, yeah, he's going to dash 1. Dash 1, because everything's reduced by 1. So he'll dash 1 there, and that'll be the end of him on the slow phase. And morale phase, yes, one of them got taken down. Oh, look at that! The guy panics. They bail and are removed from play. So he bails. He whatever happens to him, he finds his own way off the ship, but he is gone. Okay, which brings us back to an exploration phase, the beginning of the round. Tension 0. When we're getting contacts, it reduces the tension, which is, I guess, kind of a balancing factor there. All right, tension 0. Well, obviously it's above that, so it goes up to 1. Exploration phase movement. Let us do Mara first time. She's going to move her 3 inches there, which is going to reveal that point of interest. We are very close to winning this mission, he said, speaking entirely too soon. All right, what is the point of interest? Here we go. It is 88. Valuable find. Sometimes it pays to look. No change in tension. You find goods worth 1d3 plus 1 credits. D3, 6, that's a 3, 3 plus 1 credits. Boom! I'm just adding that to the stash right now. Puts us up to 12. Well done, Mara. Stein is going to move his 4. You can't dash in the exploration, so he just shows up there. And exploration phase for Captain. Captain's going to move his 4 over here, which puts him there. End of the round, the contact marker moves, and it's going to move in an aggressive direction towards the nearest character, which is going to be, I think it's going to move this way, 4. Boom. That was that. Now we go beginning of new round is tension phase. 2 is above 1, so it goes up to 2. They move as they will. The captain's going to start by going 2. Hey, you captain, what are you doing, man? And 2, that puts him within 3 inches of the, wait. He's actually going to land on the salvage in order to take it. So that's it for him. Stein is going to move his 4, and Mara's going to move her 3. Brings us to the end of the round. We do the contact movement. Contact movement doesn't change, doesn't go anywhere. Beginning of next round, tension 2. We spawn a contact randomly. D3 roll this time. It's going to be the captain. It's going to be within 6 inches and not line of sight of the captain, closest to the point of interest, which means it's going to be not within line of sight. It's going to be around the corner here. The captain moves into the bridge area. That's my communicator and motion tracker sound. Huzzah! That was at the that was attention. So now we still have exploration phase. The captain is going to move his 3 inches, collecting the salvage. Does he see around the corner at this point? He just does not. So we do not resolve that thing because he's not also within 3 inches. It resolves if you move within 3 inches at all. But we got the third piece of salvage, which is fantastic. There was an extra one we found, which is cool. Exploration phase. Stein moves here 4. At this point, he definitely sees that thing. Let us resolve the contact. What is the contact? I'm gonna guess it's probably more hostiles. Let's see what it is. 6. We got movement all over the place, man. The scanner's going haywire. Remove the contact marker. Then spawn 2 new contact markers near the crew member that triggered this result as per the usual rules. Okay, movement all over the place. That's what's going on here. So within 6 inches, not in line of sight to here. The first one's going to be here in this corner. The second one is going to be, I think, anywhere else is going to be in line of sight. So I think it's got to be here. And Mara moves her 3 in her exploration phase. Boom. The contact markers move because it's essentially the enemy phase. So let's start with this one. This one, ooh, random direction, 6 inches this way. Well, it can't go in the wall. So I think it's going to go, it's going to try and get this way. So it moves 4 inches here and 2 inches here, which will put it, boom, within 3 inches of Mara. What is this new contact? What is it? Hostiles, which is going to be 2 basic enemies. I keep reusing the same guys, but that's perfectly fine. They're going to be behind cover if they can, but they're really not behind cover. They just kind of show up around the corner. Hey, you suck. And then this contact marker over here, and this one. Let's do this one over here first. This one over here is going to go 5 direction aggressively towards the nearest person, which means it's going to go 1 and 2 and 3, which means it's going to basically it's going to get within 3 inches there and then resolve. So let's see what this contact marker is. Oh, we got movement all over the place. There's another marker that shows up here and another marker that shows up where it was before, because that's really the only places it can go. This can move, this can move, this can move, and then we're going to go into a standard combat round. It does not move because it is the same. He is not within 6 inches of the point of interest, so he does not see that. Is he? Oh, he does! He does! As Stein moves into that area, he triggers that contact, but also we determine what this point of interest is. Percentiles, and we get 20. The air is thick in here. Increase the tension by 3. You keep thinking you heard something. No kidding, you heard something. Gunfire and shouting and new contacts. But the tension, it's getting very, very tense. Of course, it's very tense around here. That is done, but they've finished the mission. They've seen all points of interest. They can get the hell out of here if they want. They do not have to stay. They can eject on the escape pod if they want. But first, we have to go to a regular combat round. I'll reject that one. We've got 2 1s. Beautiful. I'm gonna call Mara gets the 1, and I'm gonna call Stein gets the 1. So here's the deal. The escape pod is basically here. If they move here, this is off the edge of the map. Oh boy, do they stick around and kill these guys and leave at their leisure? Or do they just flee? But if they flee, they'll leave the captain open to being shot at. That's probably a bad idea. I think Stein is gonna dive behind this console, taking cover, and he's gonna fire if he has a shot. So I'm gonna call that guy, I'm gonna give him cover. He's not within 6, however, so he's just rolling at +1 for his attack. He's looking for 6. Oh, look at that! Hits him. What is the damage? The damage is 6 also. Takes out. They're just butchering these colonial militiamen. It is awesome. That was Stein. Mara spins around. She doesn't actually move because she's going to aim and fire, and she rolls with a +1. +1 is a 6. That is a damage of +1 as well. 5, 6 takes him out. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, well, that was the fast action. There are no enemies, but the marker, the contact markers, they move. What's this one do? 5 inches in a random direction this way. Boom, shows up over here. What's this one do? They're not out of the woods yet, man. There's contacts everywhere. 3 random direction, which way? This way. So which means it's going to go 1, 2, 3, and as soon as it's going to appear, and we're going to resolve that. But first, let's do this marker over here. 6 aggressively towards the closest one, which means it too is going to appear here to the captain. Okay, what is the first one? The first one is 5 enemies. There's 2 enemies that appear here. What is the second one? Enemies! 2 more enemies that appear here. Just when you think everything's looking good, he's going to appear an inch there, and he's also going to appear an inch there behind cover. Boom, they appear. They cannot act, which goes to the slow phase, and that is the captain. The captain's way out in the open. He has got to get to cover, so he is going to... boy, oh boy, he's got 4, so he's gonna dive for cover behind this console with Stein, and he is going to take a shot at this guy right here, who from this angle does not benefit from cover. He's within 6, but that doesn't matter because the captain used a military rifle +1. That is an automatic hit. Boo! It's not an automatic hit. Oh, but unfortunately 2 it will just stun him, so he wings him. Oh, like that, and that was the slow phase. Now we go to the end of the round. No morale. Beginning of the round. Tension check. 2. Oh boy, we have another contact. We reduce it by 2, which means 1. Who is D3? This time it's going to be Mara. Within 6 inches of Mara, new contact. Basically got to be here. So that, boom, that'll show up over there. That was the tension round. Spawn to contact. We're in a battle. We go to initiative. Here we go. 4 dice because of the communicator. Discard 1. Only one of them can go in the fast phase. It's got to be Mara because she's way out in the open. Here's the thing. They really got to get out of here now because this could be really bad. There could be 6 guys coming and they're mowing them down, but it eventually becomes a war of numbers and they can't have that. So I think Mara on the fast phase, she's going to dive over. She's going to basically dash and dive over here to the edge, looking to get out of dodge. They've got to get to this point right here in order to get in that escape pod. That is her. We do these guys already on the board. This guy is stunned. He's in cover. He can't aim, he's stunned, but he's going to shoot at the captain who is behind cover, and he rolls. 1 is a miss. Couldn't aim. This guy is going to move over here behind cover and shoot at the captain again, and that's a miss. Again, no aim because of that. These two really only have shots at Mara, who is behind cover. The first one, that's a miss. The second one, that's a miss. Bullets ricocheting everywhere, but what's going on with this contact over here? Let's see what happens. Ooh, it doesn't move. It doesn't move, which is very good for us. We come to the end of the round, no morale. Beginning of next round, tension track, 2. Tension goes up to 2. Boom, over here we have initiative. There's 3 of them, so we roll 4 dice. We discard the one we want, which is 5. 2 of them can go first. I think the captain's gonna go down with the ship, so to speak. I think he shouts to Stein and Mara, get to the escape pod, let's get the hell out of here, we've got what we came for. And so on the fast phase, Mara leaps into the pod, as does Stein, removing them from the battle. We go now to the slow phase over here. This guy, I think he's gonna move back here and try, it's not really in cover, but it's on the way to cover. He's gonna move and fire. That's a miss. This guy aims and fires. That's a miss. These guys still don't really have a shot on the captain here. So this guy, if he moves like that, does he have line of sight? He does now. He takes the shot. He misses. And this guy definitely does not have line of sight, so he is going to move. It's kind of an odd position for them all to be in here. If he moves just 1 inch that way, does he have a shot? He does. He takes the shot. Can the captain survive? Another. Oh no! The captain gets plugged. What happens? His toughness is 4. Oh! The captain gets stunned. The captain gets stunned. Oh! And on this. Oh! And over here, enemy phase. Enemy phase. What happens with the marker? They don't move. Okay, which means on the slow phase, the captain's stunned. He can only do one thing. He's going to move into the escape pod and off the board as the escape pod jettisons, and they leave the wreck of the Acheron behind them. Of course, at some point they would have had to have taken Kale's body, but we won't worry about that. Kale could be dead for all we know. Dead, I tell you, dead. But we don't know that. The point is they've done it. They've achieved their objectives. They've got the salvage. They've explored the whole ship, and they escaped the colonial militia before they got peppered by all of those guns coming to bear on them. Okay, let's see what happens in the post-battle. Well, that was exhausting. Let's see what happens after our very diminished crew gets off the wreck of the Acheron and gets back to the Furious, taking Kale immediately to medbay to see what happened to him. There's different rules when it comes to ending the mission here. We retain all salvage, which is good. Experience points are rewarded normally. Well, the captain gets 1 for first blood. To win the mission, you must have resolved and removed all point of interest markers, which we did. You do not receive the normal loot roll and battlefield finds. Instead, this is all about the salvage and the points of interest. So first of all, let's look at XP. Kale became a casualty, so he gets +1 for that. Survived and won. Everybody gets 3. I'm gonna spend 6 on Stein and make his toughness 5. Points of interest. First, there's a chance that you found something notable. For every point of interest you found and completed, roll 1d6. The first one is 3, which is just space junk. Lame. Second one is 1 unit of salvage. Third one is space junk. Fourth one is space junk. That kind of sucked. Now, salvage. According to the Unity Agent Guide to Fringe Spacer Slang, a scrapper is a merchant that trades in junk, salvage, and broken parts. So in post-battle step 4, we get paid. You tally up how many units of salvage you've obtained. 2, 3, 4, 5 units of salvage. To determine what the scrappers are willing to offer you for your salvage, carry out the following process. You roll 3 times on the loot table. For each result, roll 1d6 to determine how many units of salvage you had to trade in. I see. Treat a roll of 1 as a 2. The first one is going to be 0-4. Booster pills, 2 of them. Booster pills are consumables. When taken, the character removes all stun markers. They may move at double speed this round. The second thing is 42. Hotshot pack. If fitted to a blast pistol, hand laser, blast rifle, or infantry laser, +1 damage. Any natural 6 on the shooting dice causes an overheat, rendering the weapon impenetrable for the rest of the fight. Third one, 74. Ship parts. Discount your next ship component purchase. How much is it actually worth, though? In credits, it's worth 1 credit. Okay, now we determine how much each of these things is worth in terms of salvage. So the booster pills, they want 2 salvage. The hotshot pack, they want 5 salvage. And the ship parts, they want 2 salvage. So here's what I think I'm gonna do. I might just keep all the salvage and maybe next time get something better. Now it's interesting, when purchasing any of the following, you may cash in salvage to offset the cost in credits. 1 unit of salvage equals 1 credit. Only when purchasing ship repairs, modules, or bot upgrades. So I have 5 pieces of salvage. I could come back next time and see what they have, or I could basically take 5 units worth of credits off of a ship module. So that's pretty useful. You know what? I think I'm just going to keep it. So it wasn't hugely useful now because of what the scrappers were willing to trade for, but it might be useful in the future. So it wasn't like, you know, it wasn't a super awesome payday, but it wasn't a waste of time either. So we've done the get paid, we've done all that stuff. Now we need to do the injury table. I have 3. Oh, it was illegal salvage. Aha, I have to remember that. It was an illegal salvage operation. So after the job, when rolling for post-game rivals, should have done that first, you roll a d6 and a 4. You got away with it. All right, nobody knew that we were there. Or nobody could ID us anyway for, you know, being there. Injuries and recovery. The question is, do I spend a fate point to roll twice and take the better one for Kale? Or do I just hope for the best? And if it sucks, I roll again and hope that I don't roll something worse. Just bit my tongue there. It's unlikely he's gonna be dead. I'm just gonna roll. I'm gonna see what happens. What happened to Kale on the wreck of the Acheron? 48. Serious injury, no long-term effect, but he'll be 1d3 plus 1 turns in sickbay. How long will Kale be in sickbay? 2 plus 1 is 3 turns. We did experience, we did upgrades. Advanced training is difficult on Traxia. I think we're gonna leave Traxia next time. I don't think I'm gonna purchase items. I didn't really make, well, I made some money. I've got 12 credits. Do I wanna spend 3 credits to get some stuff? I really could use some stim packs. Yep, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna spend 3 credits, put us down to 9. Okay, I'm gonna roll on the gadget table. 60. Scanner bot, another scanner bot, cannot benefit from 2 copies of the same item. Oh, that doesn't really help us. I might have to spend a story point on this because otherwise we just blew 2 credits. I'm taking a risk. We really want something high. 71. Shock attachment. Well, we've already got one of those too, but it can go on somebody else's. Okay, well, that was that. Now we roll for our campaign event. At the end of this round, 78. You meet up with an old arms dealer contact who owes you a deal. Add your choice of 3 weapons from the following list. Hand cannons, military rifles, shotguns, or machine pistols. Ooh. Well, let's take a hand cannon, shall we? Ooh, this is a good roll. I like machine pistol, and I like shotgun. That's a treasure trove of stuff. Fantastic. And now character events. Character event, everybody's eligible, even if they're in sickbay, so 1d6, it's gonna be 3. That's gonna be Mara. What's the deal with Mara this round? 64. Oh, you get hurt while working on the ship, spend 1 campaign turn in sickbay, and the ship takes 1 hull point of damage. Oh no! So Mara was like trying to repair some microasteroid damage to the outer hull, and at one point she was high on like this grav ladder, and she was using this blowtorch, and the grav ladder failed at the worst possible time, and she wound up cutting her arm really badly, and the torch basically sliced a big section of the hull. Oh, it was bad news all around. Terrible character event that time. But all in all, not too bad. Otherwise, we do not roll for a invasion or we don't check for galactic war progress because there's nothing to check for. So that brings us to the end of our first salvage operation. Very interesting, different. A few little rules there that were a little confusing to me in terms of activations and stuff, but nothing terrible. Pretty cool. It wasn't as valuable as I had hoped, although we still do have these 5 pieces of salvage, which could be valuable in the future. So I'm going to make a note of that. So that is the end of this episode. Thanks so much for joining me. Join me next time when our crew is going to leave Traxia to a new world and see what happens there. Please do hit like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. And join us on YouTube as a channel member or over on Patreon. That's a great way to help support the show. Or check out the shop with all of the handmade merchandise at memyselfandie.com. Big thank you to all of my subscribers as well. We just hit 20,000 this week, so that is very cool. I love you guys. Thanks so much for continuing to join me here and to see my silly antics as I'm a grown man that plays with toys. Thanks, and we will see you next time on Me, Myself, and Die.